Welcome back. With presidential elections coming up in Lebanon, some politicians are already making it clear they want a president who won't bow to outside pressures.
We
want a patriotic president who has been tested to prove that he is not affiliated to any embassy and does not yield to foreign pressures through experience, not only good intentions. Experience says he's a man who does not fear foreign influence and gives the national interest top priority, who can take responsibility, cannot be bought for millions of dollars, and fulfills his commitments. This is the man we seek, and he's out there.
Joining us again from Beirut, Robert Fisk, Middle East correspondent for the British newspaper The Independent, George Hajar, an academic and political analyst, and also in Beirut, and Carlos Ede, president of the Lebanese National Bloc. Mr. Ede, is it really going to be possible to find somebody who's not going to bow to outside pressure? And is that really the issue here?
It's going to be very difficult. Lebanon is divided between two main trends. There is a vision that is a pluralistic society that is defended by March 14th with all its components, with all its problem and contradiction and defects. And then you have the vision of Hezbollah. Here I would like to answer what your analyst and academic said put so nicely just before the break. There is no contradiction between being a resistance movement and being organized to fight as a militia. It is just a question of definition. I would suggest that you would look it up in the dictionary before getting so sensitive about the question. On this issue, it is very, very difficult to find someone that is neutral in Lebanon. Either you are aligned with Hezbollah and their project of Lebanon, of the way that until the time that they will being able to impose their vision of Lebanon throughout all Lebanon, or you are with March 14th and you are against the past Syrian hegemony and what you have now. As for independence, there's no such thing as being independent in the country as today. Are you independent if you are Hezbollah with all the money that they are receiving and all the training that they are receiving and all the support they are receiving? How can they be independent on that? Are you independent if you are relying on Syria? Obviously not. On the other side also, any country that is small on one way or another will be dependent. We are living in an interdependent country. Now, it's not a question of being completely independent or not. It's a question of having as much independence as we can and making a choice of a system in which we can live. We want to live in a system of law, a system of the rule of law, of respect to civil liberties.
Okay, and surely compromise is an issue here. Mr. Fisk, how's that going to play out?
Look, the problem about the word compromise is that it's kind of been corrupted like a lot of Lebanon has. When people say they want a compromise president, what they're looking for is a president who will, and we're talking here basically about the people whom the Hezbollah would want, they're looking for a president who will represent everyone but will also do deals with the Syrians, which means the Syrian influence grows. My own feeling is that Syrian influence will always be in Lebanon, as will American influence, as will Iranian influence. Syria is next door. This country used to be part of Syria. But when we're talking about compromise, it sounds great in a European context. You know, compromise in Northern Ireland, compromise between French-speaking and Dutch-speaking Belgians. But in the context of Lebanon, compromise means a president who will sometimes have to bow to Syria. And that's the problem for the government parties here, which of course Mr. Ede partly represents, is that they will not be able to accept that. But the big question now that's coming up is, does Saad Hariri, the son of the murdered former Prime Minister Rafik Hariri, want to be the next Prime Minister? And does he want to be the next Prime Minister so much that he's prepared to accept the compromise president who would do deals with Syria?
Mr. Hajar, do you believe that Lebanon is now on the brink of civil war, something that nobody really wants to entertain but that keeps getting brought up?
Look, Lebanon is a byproduct of a regional international formula or the byproduct of an international regional formula. Lebanon has never had any independence. Every president from day one, from 1926 until this moment, has been appointed by the potentate of the area, whether it was French, American, Nasserite, Syrian, are now again American. The Lebanese only, the president is appointed by the power overruling the country, which is predominantly American now.
If this may or may not lead to a civil war?
I think the decision is in America, not here. That if the Americans want a civil war, there will be a civil war. But if the Americans want a consensual settlement, there will be a consensual settlement. All these acolytes on the stage, or to put it in British language, the clowns on the stage, have no decision of their own. This is not one party. All parties are connected with a regional power or an international power. No single party in Lebanon, I'm talking strictly as an academic, no single party in Lebanon is a free agent.
Okay, let's leave it there. George Hajar, Mr. Carlos Ede and Robert Fisk, thank you all three of us for joining us. And thank you so much for joining us here on this edition of Inside Story. We welcome your comments and your suggestions. You can email them to us at insidestory@aljazeera.net. Goodbye for now.